because it's like I'm not getting paid to really shoot pictures. I'm getting paid to make quick content.
Yeah.
So
you do stories and like more of like live stuff reels, while you're at events.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
And I've learned it to work well for me. And it's not, it may not work for everybody, but it's just for what I do and what I get paid to do from companies is the best option.
Yeah.
I got $500 in cash in case they don't.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the LB Motorsports Podcast. I'm your host, Lacey Blair, and I have here with me today Garrett Reed.
What's going on?
He is content creator and owner of the American Muscle HD page with, 2.6 thousand followers?
2.4 million. Yeah, I'd be like, I don't know if I'd be on here. I mean, thousands part of it. I don't think I'd be that important if I had 2.6 thousand followers.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know. Actually, maybe that's possible.
But that probably wouldn't be your intro. That wouldn't be in the bio. I'm talking about.
That'd be at the last thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as notable.
Yeah,
right?
So 2.4 million.
That's so cool. And that's on Instagram. Do you do Facebook?
I don't do Facebook, but I do have a TikTok that's at like 100,000.
Yeah, that's growing pretty big too. Awesome.
I haven't really been putting much effort to it, but I'm planning to do that next year. That's one of my goals next year. I want to get to 1 million next year on TikTok.
We're speaking into existence right
100%.
now. It's happening.
Y'all heard it here first. Million on TikTok next year.
Yes. Yeah. So we're here in Indiana at PRI.
Yep.
And I mean, we see each other a lot, but it's almost kind of in passing. So we never get to just...
We're both busy.
Chat, you know?
It's all good.
We see each other at almost every event, every LS Fest.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's good. I mean... I don't ever let that kind of stuff bother me. It's like, I know people got their thing they're doing, they're busy, so it's just all love. But it's cool. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining me.
Yes, ma'am.
For sure. I know you have a busy week probably here at PRI and everything.
Well, it's 8 o'clock. I'd be otherwise probably sleep.
Yeah,
so it's
me
okay.
too.
Yeah,
me too.
It's okay.
So you're not a partier here at the events.
I don't know. I mean, it's Friday night. I'm after this. I may see what some people are doing, but I mean, I don't know. If nobody gets back to me quickly, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Take a shower, go to sleep. So.
Yeah. Gear up for tomorrow.
Facts.
Yes. Yeah. So with your content creating and everything, you're one of the OGs. Like,
I'll take that title.
100%.
Yeah.
But especially, back then, how long have you had the page?
10 years.
I was going to say
10 years back in March.
I was going to say 10 years ago, truck pages, car pages were popping.
Yeah.
Like they were the thing.
100%.
And a lot have died out.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
That's kind of the thing that's so crazy to think about. It's like, considering, the number of followers I guess I have now, the fact that, yes, my page is almost 11 years old in March next year, the fact that it's still relevant and still growing is impressive.
Wild.
That's the most impressive thing about it when I really sit back and look at it, because like you mentioned, there are a lot of pages that we've seen come and go, or they may still be around, but they're not, they're not active anymore. They don't get good engagement, so that's probably the one thing I'm super proud of and happy about.
So do you think that people get discouraged, or do you think they just get burnt out? Or like what sets you apart, I guess, would you say?
I would say the thing that really sets me apart, and I've heard this from a lot of my followers, is that I actually care. Like I'll actually respond to people's DMs. I'll respond to messages. I'll respond to, comments. So I interact.
That's a big part of it.
It's a huge part of it. That's the thing people don't realize. Even as an individual like yourself and the content creator, that's what gives people a sense of being a part.
Like a community.
A community of sorts,
really.
right? Yeah. So it's not like they may not obviously personally know you, but they act like they do, or they can feel like they do, just because you're interacting, you're taking that few seconds out of your day to interact and respond to their comment. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I think separated me from a lot of these pages, is that, and I've heard it from people's mouths, is that they were like, you actually took the time out to respond to me, and like, you got 2 million. I was like, bro, I ain't got nothing else to do. What else am I doing?
Well, this is your full-time
job
now, right? And it is work.
Busy,
that is a lot. Work. That's a lot to keep up with.
I don't really think of it as work sometimes, because I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of second nature to me. You know what I'm saying? But when I really think back, I'm like, all right, no. To curate the content, like to find the content that I'm going to, if it's not content that I'm making, to reshare it and da-da-da. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Definitely. So when you started it 10, 11 years ago, did you ever dream that it would be? Did you ever dream of the opportunities that were going to come with it? I'd
hoped, I guess, in the back of my head, but really, I don't even know if it was on the forefront of my mind at all, because I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was an app that, like, a friend of mine had a page. Just as, again, you mentioned truck pages. used to go to a local car meet on Friday nights, and I remember a friend of mine had a page, and it was like 14,000 followers, which was a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still kind of a lot now, but I was just like, that's crazy. It's like, how do you have 14,000 followers? I just didn't understand. So I was like, you know what? I'll try it. And then, you know, like you say, rest is history. I don't even remember.
No, was it always called that?
So way back when, I think it was called just America Muscle, and I got hacked. Back when people used to hack just for fun. That doesn't happen much anymore. But people like used to hack all the time, and I got hacked a couple times. And one time, a guy hacked me, and he changed the name to what it is now. So I kind of should thank him, I guess, because the name's now kind of stuck. That happened like.
I mean, it works, I guess. What does the HD stand for? Just like high definition?
It doesn't stand for. It can mean whatever you want it to mean.
Shout out to the hacker that did
facts.
that.
Shout out. Preach. Yeah, I don't know. It really
so
does.
Funny.
People joke like the HD
it's
can
his
be
initials. Like, he's still giggling about it.
That would be funny as heck. That'd be really. I never thought about that, and that should be funny. But no, it has no meaning. HD makes sense, like high def, whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I try to post all quality content.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
So has it always been car content from the beginning? That was the purpose?
Predominantly. It was all like muscle car content, and then I realized that American muscle can be more than just cars, right? It can be performance diesels. It can be, American, engine swapped foreigns. It could be a lot of things, right? So like I didn't pigeonhole myself really just under the pretense of muscle cars, old school or modern. So yes, I mean, I kind of blanketed myself with it being just American, right? Because I'm a car person through and through. So I like all kinds of stuff. But that was what I was interested in. Really,
and so you kind of have to have some kind of niche
a little bit
to grow as big as probably
and to be relevant in a particular area. You know what I mean? So I obviously worked with a lot of the OEMs and the major like the three American OEMs because of that. I've worked with others,
cool.
but
you've worked with some awesome companies.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Cadillac, right?
Cadillac, I've worked with, so every major OEM, so GM, Ford, and Stellantis, I guess now. Yeah, I worked with all three of them in some capacity. But GM recently this year has kind of been cool because like they invited me to. I was like one of maybe like 20 people that got to come up to Detroit to see the new Cadillac Escalade EV.
That's cool.
Which is a little,
is it electric?
It is all electric. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, taboo to talk about on my account because people don't like EVs. But I was just thankful because it was just, the notoriety thing. They've been paying attention enough to invite me up and be only 20 journalists, media that see it in studio. So it wasn't like the official vehicle. It was more like a stationary powered concept, so to speak. But it still was a really cool experience.
That is wild.
It was a one-day trip, too. It was 6 hours in Detroit and then turned around and came home.
No way.
Yeah.
They're like, get in, get out.
It was the coolest experience traveling because I literally, like, you know how it is when you travel, you bring a whole bunch of crap with you. I literally brought my phone, my wallet, my sunglasses, my phone case, or my phone charger, and my wallet.
That actually had to be nice.
Everything was in my cargo pants, and I walked on the plane with nothing. It was great. And I got off the plane, and the guy who picked me up from the airport was like, "You don't have any bags?" I was like, "What the heck I need bags for? I'm here for 6 hours."
That's awesome.
I was like, what do I need? And so, yeah, it was interesting.
So speaking of the phone, I mean, you shoot almost everything on your phone.
Everything.
Now, when I first met you, you had a camera. Because you took an awesome picture of me the first time I met you.
You still have it? Because I want to see it.
Yes, I still have it.
Okay, wonderful. Because I want to see it.
I'll find it on my phone.
Please.
It's like 10 years. A long time ago.
It was probably a long time ago.
7 or 8 years ago.
Wow.
I was working the hostel booth, and you snapped a picture of me in the booth.
Oh, my goodness.
That was in Nashville.
Holy crap. At Alex's show.
Yes. So what was the show called? Because I don't have it anymore. Something. Adrenaline. That's what it was.
Holy crap.
Heat, just because it was hot. I thought of Heat. I'm like, Heat Wave? No, that's not it.
That's insane.
Yes.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. That's when I very first met you.
That's insane.
I think you gave me a card with your Instagram on it, so I followed, and then I've seen you at least
Shout out
once
for
a year
Lacey for
since.
having a great memory because I don't. I was just telling
good
somebody.
Picture.
Thank you, and that was when I wasn't good.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you don't do photography like that or anything anymore?
I've been talking about this recently to people. I haven't had a creative like spark to shoot anything lately. I haven't shot a car in over a year.
Wow.
with my camera. The last time I shot was with Emma.
I was gonna say she's always killing it.
Yeah,
Emma from
Mom
Detroit.
Steel.
Yeah, Mom Steel.
Yeah, Detroit Steel Wheel. Yeah,
Shout out to
Emma.
her.
Yeah,
Love
she
her.
She didn't.
She's always
She went to
killing it.
Mexico instead of hanging out with me in Detroit. So bum. But anyways, she was living it up. She deserved it. But no, last time I shot was with her in Detroit. In Vegas after SEMA. We always shoot the Saturday after in the art district with vehicles that come on their wheels, which is really cool. But yeah, I just haven't had the creative like spark to shoot anything lately. And then but actually going forward into next year, I've had some potential opportunities that and this is a segment you mentioned that we'll talk about, but like a mixture of cars and guns.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I definitely want to get into that.
That may be a thing I may be doing next year with some of the companies that I work with.
That is super cool.
And it'll give me a new creative, like, outlet to want to shoot again. So
something different.
Yeah,
you know?
But going back to but predominantly for the content that I shoot, because it's all for social.
I was gonna say, do you feel a lot of times that just cell phone stuff performs better?
I'd agree
for you
because like we actually kind of did an experiment on this. I have a lot of friends that are professional photographers, and a while back we were doing a thing with the 6th Gen Camaro when they came out. So this was 2016, 2017, and my buddy took a picture, this crazy elaborate like multi-shot blended Photoshop kind of picture of this car, of the brand new Z01 in this parking deck in Lansing, Michigan, unreleased. I took a picture with my phone and it got like 40,000 likes and his got like 3. And he was so mad because he was up all night editing this picture and it just did not perform. And I was just like, I told you, bro. And
posted on the same like platform, same page.
I think so. Or he posted it on his, or Chevrolet Performance posted or something. Yeah. But my post just did extremely better than his. And he was just like, God dang it. And I'm like, I told you.
I can kind of attest to this because Zach just one shot, picks up the phone one time, films something on his phone, throws it up, and I'll get, my Canon out, spend an hour editing it, match it up to the sound and all this. And his gets more likes.
Honestly, like, that's the reason why I don't do it. Because it's like, first of all, these phone cameras are just as good.
They really are.
Especially
like,
in quick, in quick little instances where it's like you need to just capture something quickly, especially if something's happening right away. You can't pull your camera out fast enough or it's cumbersome or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's like the quality is going to be just as good. Like, especially condensed down in the format on Instagram, you're not going to see 4K. You're not going to see all the, whatever that the camera can produce. So it's like, why even go through all that? Obviously the cameras have their benefit for things like this, website stuff, banners, posters, things that can blown up because they got to have a lot of megapixels. But yeah, I haven't brought my camera to an event in a long time.
Dang.
Because it's like, I'm not getting paid to really shoot pictures. Right. I'm getting paid to make quick content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do stories and like more of like live stuff reels, while you're at events.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's super cool.
And I've learned it to work well for me. And it may not work for everybody, but it's just for what I do and what I get paid to do from companies is the best option.
Yeah.
And
you when do you feel like on your page, because you didn't always used to be like, I don't want to say like the face of it.
Yeah.
Like, were you faceless for a while?
I was for a long time.
That's what I thought.
A long time. And I, not to get into all the, whatever stuff, but the reason I didn't do it from the beginning is because I knew that I was an anomaly in this industry, like being a young black dude in this industry. And I knew it was going to be not received well.
Really?
At least by some. I knew it. Yeah. Just because you got to think, like, it's an older...
got a lot of old white dudes.
Old white dudes, exactly.
Like American muscle cars, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, and so, like, I hate
That's kind of sad.
It is sad. And I hate to sound like things, everybody's like, oh, you can make it about race.
Yeah. No,
It's not really about making it about race. It's just the truth of the reality. So, like...
Well, it's really like if I was to make the same page as a female...
Yeah.
It would probably
be the same.
It'd be the same.
It'd be the exact same.
Like they'd be like, it would probably be better if I kept it secret for a little bit.
But I mean, even though you're doing your own stuff, I mean, I know you get the same comments like that. People just try to discredit you just because you're a woman.
People act like that to you?
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So, anyways, I was just so against it for the longest time just because I didn't want to deal with the negativity of it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, F it. I'm gonna post it. And I remember it was a SEMA. Like 2015, and I got to ride in a like back when they used to do the OUS, when they do the SEMA rollout. So I was riding in one of the Optima streetcars out of the show. I was riding, and it was a Challenger, and I was like, man, this is awesome. So I took like a selfie video. That was the first video I ever posted showing my face, and of course I got the dreaded comments saying the N-word, call me N-word.
What?
I'm like, you know what? I was like, I knew it was gonna happen, and I was like, you know what? Whatever, cool. I passed that now. F 'em.
Just immediately.
Yeah.
And they knew it was you. Like they're like, oh, face reveal, like of who runs this page.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was like, all right, whatever, that's over with now. So then I was just like, you know what? Can we cuss on this?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't tell my parents to watch them because they got mad at me last time I cussed on the podcast.
But you know, I mean, for a good reason right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I told him last time. But so I was just like, yeah. So, yeah, and then I was just like, all right. So going forward, I was like, nah, man, I need to do this because the problem is, the thing I messed up on is I didn't correlate my face with the brand from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I'm having to play catch up. Right, all the time that I wasted, people not knowing who I was. I didn't probably amass them to really start showing my face to well over 1 million followers.
Yeah,
you know, and by that time, people are like having to put 1 and 2 together.
Because I think you told me when I met you, you're like, "This is my page, but it's not my personal page. Like I don't post myself on there."
Exactly.
That's how I kind of knew that. And
yeah, it was a whole thing. I had to go, explain to people, like, so like, you know how it is
hard.
when you got a show and you don't necessarily have your phone right away, so you don't follow them right back, and you're like, wait, is this them? Because you can't see their face. So that's why when I meet people in person, I give them my personal.
That's smart.
And then I tell, like, because in my bio, it has my other 2 pages. So I'm like, I don't give a f. If you want to follow the other 2, cool. But at least now you'll know when you go back and look, like, oh, who is this? That was this cat, right?
For sure.
And so, but anyways, so long story short, I've had to play catch up. And it's finally starting to pay dividends because I put myself out there more. I'm showing myself when I go out and do things, the car reviews. Yeah. And, now I'm getting to the point where, all of it. So people are coming up to me at shows and saying what's up, or they're like, hey, man, I saw you.
Through all of that, though, it's obviously paid off that you have shown your face.
Yeah. It's
so many opportunities.
For sure. No. And that was the thing. Like, I learned that, while I have a lot of followers or whatever, and I get in good engagement, the thing that I learned with, watching you and a lot of the content creators that, your brand is you, right? Is that I've learned that companies want to partner with people that have followers that can relate to the person that they follow. And again, while people liked all the content that I posted, there wasn't one of those like things where you're like, oh, Garrett said, not to say it, you post something, people just buy it, but it's like, that's how it works. Like if
they feel a little more connected.
Yeah,
it's
like, so they
can
trust you. Exactly. So, that's where that was kind of my driving factor to do it, because I knew with brand partnerships and working with big companies, I knew that if I, was promoting something or whatever, that my followers would, they'd rock with me on that kind of stuff because they knew it was me. And, I wouldn't steer them wrong kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that, again, it's that level of trust and understanding when you feel like the person.
If definitely.
And that's what happens. So it's like, it's like you bring them along, you know what I'm saying, with what you're doing. Definitely. So that was kind of my driving factor in that. And I'm just a people person. Yeah. At the end of the day. So it's like, I naturally, I'm just like, I rock with people, and people rock with me. I rock with you. Like, it's just that simple. And I think people realize that with me, like, I'm a genuine person. For sure. Yeah. I can tell that from the beginning. Yeah. Like, and people, that's the thing. People are so blown away from when they meet me in person. They're like, I met a dude that's at PRI today. He was DMing me back and forth, and he was just like, hey, like yesterday, he was like, where you at? And I have had my notifications turned off for American Muscle D for a long time. Even my DMs and stuff. So like, I would switch between accounts, and it'd be like hours later, and he'd be like, "Yo, where you at?" And I'm like, "Damn," because I'm constantly moving around. Missing him, yeah. And so he finally he sent me a message, and I was finally sat down at one booth for a minute. I was gonna be there for a minute. I was like, "Yo, I'm here. Pull up." And so he pulls up, and he's like, "Dude, it's great to finally meet you, Dada." We chopped it up. He was like, "Man, like, I really appreciate you, because you could have just like ignored me or just said I don't have time for this dude." I'm like, "Nah, man. Like, what? Come on. Like, if you wanted to say what's up, come say what's up." And like, I finally was able to be somewhere in one place to make it happen. So it's like, if people go out of their way to care enough about what I'm doing, whatever it is, I'm willing to meet that person. I'm willing to talk to him because that means the world. I mean, obviously, you know, if we didn't have these people, we wouldn't be doing this.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, people that don't have time for nobody else, like those aren't people you really want to be following.
And they really don't
care
last in the long run anyways,
really.
Because that shows.
Yeah, 100%.
It will end up, the truth comes out and it'll end up showing through
100%.
everything that they do, really.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree. So
with all that, I mean, do you feel like it's good to have like the representation, like you talking about you being like, you know, a young black male? Have you had people say that that's an inspiration to them, or like
100%.
Yeah,
100%. And like that means a lot too. Just because, again, you know, not to make this about a race thing, it just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not many minorities, and even just being a female,
Right.
you know, it's just like the differential, like, you know, stirring the pot, so to speak, of what the status quo of what this industry has always been,
right,
is a huge deal. Because I'm sure, like, you've had a number of younger women come up to you and tell you that you're an inspiration to them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it means a lot.
yeah. That makes the bad days worth it.
Worth it, exactly. So, you know, not just to say other black people or other younger
Anybody.
black people. It's just people in
Really.
general coming up to me, you know, with my car, like with my Monte Carlo, like people was like, man, you gave me the motivation to get working on mine.
That's
or
so cool.
you know, you motivated me to go buy one or whatever, this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, man, that's crazy. Because like I was taking, you know, inspiration and advice from other OGs
Mm-hmm.
that have been doing this for a long time, the G-body people. So people that care that enough about what I'm doing, I'm like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
And then if you'd have never put your face with it, you'd never make that connection.
Exactly.
So
or it
thankfully
would have just
you did.
been thumbs behind
Yeah,
the screen. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
So
yeah.
what was your first big opportunity like that came out of that? What was the first time you were like, actually, yeah, just in general, what was the first time you were like, holy shit, this is actually like the real deal?
Chevrolet Performance. That was the
That's a
first.
big one.
That was the first, I think, verified and like big account that followed me. And this was back in like late 2014, early
That's
2015,
massive.
like a year in.
Wow.
And like, I'm like, what the heck? And it was so crazy. Like shortly after that, they invited me to Detroit for Woodward Dream Cruise. And I got to
That's
go,
cool.
I got to go view that. And then the next year, 2016 was the year that they unveiled they revealed the 6th gen Camaro. And I was a part of a lot of the press for that. So I got to go, they flew me up to Detroit for Dream Cruise the following year, and we went to Lansing where the plant was to build the Camaro. So we got to tour the plant, and then we got to, you know, do the whole watch the parade thing. They had a thing on Woodward Avenue where they had the new 6th gen Camaro, and then they had the very first 1967 Camaro in 2 glass boxes sitting on Woodward Avenue in Birmingham, Michigan. It was the coolest thing.
So cool. Well, that's where they had Roadkill Nights, right?
Correct.
So
Well,
I'm kind of
Pontiac,
like connecting
so it's
that.
right down the
Okay,
road.
right.
It's right off Woodward, but it's a
Gotcha.
little further down. It's maybe another like 4 or 5 miles. But yeah, so they had the 67 sitting in a glass case on the side of Woodward, and then they did a picture where they had the 6th gen rolling up on the street right next to it, and they got the picture where the car was coming up next. It was cool.
That is so cool.
It was super cool. And then later that year, right before SEMA, they invited me to Spring Mountain, which is just outside of Vegas and Pahrump, and we got to drive the 6th gens on the track.
Wow.
So that was my first real big, experience. And
That's a big one.
oh, it was huge.
So even then for that, were you doing like, was Instagram stories a thing then? Or was it mainly posts?
I don't think stories were around
Yeah.
then.
Or that you were making posts while you were there
Yeah.
and just making content
Yeah.
while you were there?
It's kind of crazy to think about the whole evolution of
It
Instagram.
really is. I'm
'Cause
like,
I've seen
how
it from
long
the
ago was
beginning.
stories?
Like a long time ago.
A long time
Like,
ago.
At least,
I'm like, oh, it's like Snapchat now. Like I remember thinking that.
yeah. It was like, because Instagram always bid off of every new platform.
Yes.
Snapchat.
And then they didn't do
Instagram.
videos, right?
Yeah,
you couldn't do a
originally-
video on a post.
And then originally a video could only be 15 seconds. Remember that?
Yes.
15 seconds. And remember when there was no landscape? Everything had to be 1-to-1.
So crazy.
There was no vertical. There was no like 6x9 or
Yeah.
6
All
by
just a
9. There was
square.
no It was crazy.
That's crazy.
yeah. It's
That is awesome. So with you've got your personal page
Right.
growing more and more every day, right?
Yeah, it's a little stagnant right now, but that's just because
Yeah.
I haven't had any time to create like real good content. But
Yeah.
that's just on me.
And then your second page, which is something I definitely want to get into,
Mm-hmm.
your other interest and
Yeah.
avenue, like how is that going with the gun page? What is it called?
Weapon Vault.
Yes.
So-
which is a badass name, by
It
the
is
way.
a cool name. So I can't take 100% credit for that. So my buddy Alex, It's actually his account.
Oh, okay.
Well, we went to college together, and I remember this was back in maybe right before COVID, 2019 or early 2019. I remember he had that, and he has all-terrain trucks.
He's the one with the all-terrain trucks.
So I run that too.
No way.
Yeah, I run that
Okay,
too.
cool.
So both of those pages, he's been busy. He works for his dad, and they have a number of Chevy dealerships. So he does all that stuff. He wasn't putting forth any effort. He hadn't posted on the gun page in like 6 months. And I'm like, man, I was like, would you let me run them and like just try to, restart them, like kickstart them again? And he was like, yeah. So he let me run them, and it took about maybe not even a year, 6 months. I just took what I learned doing the car stuff, and I got it going again. I just started posting regularly, more and more, and trying to get people to start engaging with it. And and obviously it's hard because social any social media platform, they don't cater to guns at all.
Oh gosh, I didn't even think about that
at all.
That's way harder.
It's damn near impossible to grow the page organically, because actually now they won't show your content, any new followers.
That's
for gun
insane.
stuff.
So it's like if they don't follow, they don't even see it. And then it's like they may or may not see it.
Unless people share it in their stories, that content does not get seen to any new people.
That's crazy.
So it's been just really about maintaining. Every now and again I'll post like some sort of like 2A related meme on American Muscle HD to kind of push people there.
I do see you do that. Yeah.
Every now and then I gotta be real careful.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to mess up.
You don't want to ever
I can't
lose
mess up
that
the cash
page.
cow, right?
Yes.
So I'm very selective about what I do on that. And I just try to, push a few thousand people over there every now and again, and they usually stick. But yeah, that's been fun. That's been fun.
For sure.
I just took what I learned with the cars and I just supercharged it.
That's so cool. How fun is that though? You know what I mean?
It is, because it's like, you put all that time into one thing and you kind of get the tips and tricks, right?
Yeah. And see if you can do it again. It's kind of like a challenge all over again,
really,
right?
Really. And that's kind of what I'm doing with the all-terrain trucks too, because there's so many truck pages.
Man, yeah.
And it's hard to stand out in that regards. And so I'm actually proud of myself, because it was a losing battle for a while, because it's like it was always bleeding. It was bleeding like 1,000 followers every couple of days. I'm like, Jesus, this is ridiculous. Like, what? I can't do anything. And now it's finally on the mend, and it's just like slowly, like, the roller coaster slowly creeping up. And so like it finally crested over 900,000.
Dang.
And I'm like, that's awesome. So like, my boy is super happy when I update him, and because he just wants to see the pages still be successful.
Right.
And so he gets super geeked, and like him being happy about it makes me happy, and so it's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So one of your other hobbies is shoes. Now, I don't even want to say the other things aren't hobbies. Those are your hobbies and career things.
Right.
But one of your hobbies is shoes, right? Did you ever think about making a sneaker page?
There's so many people that have asked me that, and it's just
is there a lot of sneaker pages? I feel like there really are.
I don't know. I haven't really dived in. There's a handful. A lot of them are like news pages.
Oh, okay.
So like they post about like upcoming shoes that are coming out, and that kind of thing. But most of the pages that post shoes are just people's personal collections. Yeah. And I follow a number of them. I know a number of them, but it's just, again, that's just a whole nother thing of content to create, right? Just as much as you put the effort into creating content for car stuff or truck stuff, it's the same thing with shoes.
It'd be a whole nother job.
Yeah. Granted, shoes are a lot smaller than trucks and cars, but it's like you got to have the proper lighting. You got to have the proper backdrop. It's like, how do you formulate the content? Is it POV footage of you, like, because I've looked at all this stuff. I've analyzed it. Is it POV footage where you're on like a fancy coffee table and you slide the shoebox and you open up the box?
I think those videos do well.
Yeah, it's like ASMR almost. You show the retro card, you open up the plastic, you show the shoe, you know what I'm saying? You put it back. It's like, a lot of those things have been done before. So it's like, what do you do to separate yourself, to make yourself unique?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no fault in following trends. But it's like you always want to, you kind of always stand out a little bit, right? So it's like, that's the only reason why I've been a little hesitant, is because like I just don't know what that would be. Yeah,
there's a little less to do. It'd be easier per se, but there's less to do with it than like a car that runs and drives and moves and all of that. Yeah. So tell us about the kicks you have on right now.
So these are little like,
the Christmas edition.
Very Christmassy.
He's festive today.
They're like a statement piece in the wintertime. I only wear them in December. Obviously, they're Nike SB candy canes. from, believe it or not, these are from 2015.
Oh, really?
I've had these for 8 years.
And have you worn them consistently?
Yeah, I wear them every Christmas, every December.
Awesome.
And that's why they don't get dirty. That's why they still look pretty much brand new.
Yeah.
Because I only wear them in December, but I don't know if the camera can catch that, but
There we go.
They're super cool. I actually brought a few pair of Christmas-esque shoes this trip. But yeah, it's the shoe thing kind of started with like anything else. I was a fan of them as a child, and my parents, they did all right, but like they wouldn't buy me a bunch of shoes when I was a kid because you'd be hard on them, you grow out of them and such like that. So I have a few vivid memories of particular pairs that I had as a child, but it was growing up in the late 90s and early 2000s, that was the prime time of Nike basketball and Jordan brand, in my opinion. So you got to see like a lot of the original Jordans being retroed, like right at the turn of the century. So between 99 and 2001. So like original Jordan 1s were in 85, they were retroed in 2000. So you get to see all those original 96s and Jordan 11s retroed in 2000, such and such. So I got to see all those as a kid, and then I'm just like, man, that'd be awesome. So as I got older and I finally started to make my own money, I was like, nah, this is my time.
Yeah.
So now I just started, it's just been a thing where I'm just like, all the shoes that I wanted as a kid, I'm buying them.
That's awesome.
And now I've got over 365 pairs of shoes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
One for every day of the year.
One for every day of the year. You've seen my stories on Instagram.
It's
It's hard to do, but I'm trying to do a thing on my stories where I post a shoe every day when I remember to do it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
And I've learned now that highlights only allow 100 stories. So there's going to be four parts of my collection.
That's crazy.
By the time it's all said and done.
Do you plan on thinning out the collection anytime soon or no?
There's times I look and I'm just like, yeah, there's a lot of these that I don't really want anymore, but it's a hassle selling shoes and getting rid of them because you're just like, some of them don't have the value that they once did or whatever. And you're just like the hassle of like selling a shoe for only like menial money and I hate to say that, but
it's like
when it doesn't feel like it's worth your time to put forth all that effort to sell it, you're like, I'm just gonna give them away.
Right.
And
yeah, for sure.
There have been times I've given shoes away to people that I know wear my size. That I had a kid I used to play basketball with before I moved, and I gifted him a pair because his shoes were beat, like his hooping shoes were beat. So I was like, here you go, bro.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then actually one of the coolest stories about shoes actually I can tell you is that I was at SHOT Show, circling back to the guns. I was at SHOT Show.
Oh yeah, I've seen you there too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we saw each other there last year or year before last. So it was this past SHOT Show. I was a part of a basketball game, like a charity basketball game.
That's cool.
I didn't bring a pair of shoes to hoop in, like that I could hoop in. They were all like shoes I didn't want to hoop in, right? So I had reached out. I put a story on my Instagram, on my personal. It was like, hey, like I'm in the Vegas area. I'm in need of a pair of hooping shoes. Like if somebody has them, because I didn't need to go buy a brand new pair of shoes just to play one game. So this dude that followed me pulled up on me. Like he got off work, met me at the rec center, and brought me a pair of shoes to hoop in.
That is.
And then I'm like, well, I don't need these, right? So the whole thing was for like, what's the word? Kids that in lower income situations. And so like, I was like, you know what? At the end of the game, I'm gonna figure out a way to gift these shoes to one of these kids.
That's cool.
So I asked all the kids, if they wore this size, how many of the kids wore the size shoe that I had, and I had them play a game called Knockout. I don't know if you remember that game.
I've played that before, yeah.
So you see it from the free throw line to the 3-point line where, the first person shoots, the other person has to try to get it before them. So this one kid won them, and then I gave them to him. So
you paid it forward from the guy giving you a good.
Exactly, because I didn't need them.
Yeah,
it was.
So he just straight up pulled them and gave them to you. It was like, here, don't worry about it.
Yeah, he was like, don't worry about it. Yeah, it was amazing.
Does he know then you gave them to a kid too?
Yeah, I told him.
That's super cool.
Yeah, because I was just like, I don't need these, man.
Yeah,
but so that was honestly one of the coolest experiences I've ever done.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So do you have a gun collection too?
I do. That's why I'm broke.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, between cars, guns, shoes. I have some of the same problems.
Hey, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great. Hey, you know what? You can't take none of it with you, but your money can't go, so you might as well just buy a bunch of stuff. So, I've got a pretty ridiculous gun collection. I've got probably over 40 guns.
Let's hear it. Flex about it.
Oh, all right. Shoot. Well, I mean, I got a bunch of rifles, ARs. I got a really, really cool 308 bolt action pistol that I run almost dedicated suppressor on. That's so much fun to shoot. I got a little bit of everything. But the coolest thing is I got, I work with a lot of companies in the gun industry.
That's what I was gonna ask. You're doing that already. I mean,
so
with
they
the
send me.
page.
So I get guns sent to me all the time, and
Cool.
like I got a few waiting for me when I get back home actually, and it's great. I love it.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So is there many opportunities in that as far as like going the places you went in the automotive industry, or is that a little harder to do in that industry?
You mean like getting invited to events and such?
I
like
guess
that?
like is there more events than just SHOT Show and things like
Oh
that?
yeah, they have like a lot of like range days. Like companies have range days.
You go to some stuff like that.
Yeah,
I have seen.
I've been to a few of those. I was actually supposed to be going next week to Washington State and then driving over to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho to go do like a survival thing with Walther, the gun company, pistol company. We were gonna go and we were gonna camp out just outside of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho in December.
Oh my!
We were gonna have to hike
gosh.
with our rucks and everything and in the snow and literally sleep outside, make a shelter and sleep outside.
You were
one
down
night.
for that,
I mean, listen, you only live once,
right?
but
Take
yeah,
the
like
opportunity.
all of my friends I told, they were like, "You
That
doing
sounds
that?"
miserable.
I was like, I mean, you gotta die sometime. I was like, if that's the way I gotta go, that's the way I gotta go.
That is wild.
But yes, thankfully it got pushed to March,
Oh.
so I got a little more time
It's
to.
like, is that going to be warmer or colder? You'll
might-
train for it though, yeah?
I'm gonna train for it. I told my friends I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna put my plate carrier on. I'm gonna walk my neighborhood so I can get
There
used
you
to
go.
walking like uphill with weight on.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's gonna be interesting.
That
it
is
might
wild.
be colder.
We have to go to Idaho next week.
Really?
Yeah, for the winter of the Suburban. We're taking it to Idaho. Yeah.
Interesting. That should be cool. What part?
Like almost to Canada.
Oh, so y'all gonna be up in the chimney?
Yep.
Okay. Let me know how cold it is.
Okay. Probably cold. Too cold to be
Is
doing
that
what
where
you'd
y'all
be doing.
Is that where y'all got to take the winter's
Yeah.
truck?
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. Cap back there, he's going to be driving. Well, I'm going to be riding. Well, I might be driving too. We'll both be driving.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good times.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah. So
Y'all
hopefully
better
it's not
bring-
too
y'all better
snowy
bring
up
some
there.
chains.
Some chains?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you better put some chains in the
Oh,
truck.
my God. It's two-wheel drive. Oh, we'll worry about that later.
We're taking my truck.
Oh, we're taking Cap's truck. Okay. Not the Kodiak.
Still, should probably bring some chains.
Four drive.
Oh, probably. Well,
You can't do nothing on
big
ice to
rig and we
four-wheel drive.
got this. Right?
That's fair. Well, if you grew up in the Rockies, you'd be all right.
He did. He grew up. You did not grow up in no Rockies.
Rocky Mountains and Salt Lake.
Oh, okay. That's the Rockies. Damn. I
Well,
don't know
the Rockies-
geography.
yeah, the
I
Rockies-
ain't know
the Rockies-
into no
Canada,
geography.
that's always south.
Yeah. And then Sierra Nevada goes
From Washington, Oregon, down to
Death Valley.
Death Valley.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There you
Well,
go. There's a little
wish us luck.
geography for you.
Pray for us. Yeah,
I got you.
I don't do geography. I didn't go to college or nothing. So
She said, I don't do math. I don't do
math,
geography.
I don't do geography. Did you go to college or anything?
I did. I went to Kennesaw State in Kennesaw, Georgia.
And you don't use a damn thing you wear. No,
You
I'm
know,
just kidding.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Right.
Pythagorean theorem. I've not used that a day in my life. And no, I don't know. I don't regret going to college because I made some really good friends there, and it was a fun time. But yeah, if I going back and looking at it, I think I cheated myself out of like the time I spent and the money I spent there. I should have got a little more of a focused business degree as opposed to just generically business management because I was doing this social media thing through college. I was
That's
actually
what I was
making pretty
wondering.
good
Yeah.
money during college.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Doing this thing. And so I won't say I wasn't focused on like what my outcome would be from like my degree, but looking back on it, yeah, I would have done something a little more hyper focused or like minored in something more focused like supply chain or logistics,
Yeah.
something to where I can have a fallback that's, good paying, way more hyper focused than business management because all that taught me it just reinforced the characteristics I knew about myself, which meant that I was a good people person and I could solve problems. That was the only two things it taught me. I was like, I already know that.
Right.
So it was just a reinforcement that I paid for.
And now you could probably get any social media management job that you wanted.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a resume a mile long just with your own, you
For
know?
sure.
So yeah, were you always into cars? Like even as a kid, what was your dream job? Like as a kid and going into college,
I don't think I ever had one, to be honest with you. I just thought I remember me and my friend in high school, we used to always map out like the idea of owning a shop.
That's cool.
And I'm kind of glad I never did that.
I was gonna say, do you plan on ever doing that?
If I ever own a shop, it's gonna be my shop, and it's just
Yeah.
gonna be a place to keep my shit.
Yeah.
And it's like that's it.
That's
I'm
kind
not
of
working
what
on
we've
nobody else.
evolved to. It's
Yeah.
like, content shop, basically. It's
basically,
like
that's what I want.
personal stuff, the giveaway stuff, and then you can still, if you
Yeah,
always
if our
want to do
homies,
that
maybe the
forever,
homies
like,
come
still-
over and
yeah.
work and stuff, but it's not going to be like a shop
No,
where
that
people
gets to be a nightmare.
Hell no,
Yeah.
that ain't happening.
It's not for everybody,
I watched my friends do it, and it's just like it's way more of a headache than it needs
Yeah,
to be.
you can never travel the way that you do in that.
No, because
that
then
sense.
eventually you could if you hired somebody to run it,
Yeah.
but then you got to, nah.
Yeah.
Nah,
So the next thing, you have a couple badass car builds.
I appreciate that.
So, what do you got going on? Tell the people what you got going on and plans maybe for 2024 with those.
So, I don't really have many plans for those two, really. The only thing I'd like to change, I'd like to, kind of refresh the Escalade. So I've got a 2014 Escalade Platinum ESV, 408 stroker, 2.3 Whipple, big converter, Circle D converter, full exhaust, lowered, big brakes, wheels, tires. And it's rowdy. Like you've heard it. It's
It
rowdy.
sounds
You sat
so
in it and
good.
revved. It's rowdy for an Escalade, like not anything you'd expect. But the wheels that have been on it for a few years. The paint on it is kind of like the roof and the hood are shot. Like, GM vehicles at that time.
Yeah.
The clear coat fails and it looks like crap. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to wrap it. I think I'm going to wrap it, and I want to get new wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll kind of just give it a new look. You know what I'm saying? And then, so that's kind of the plan for that, because that's my daily, quote unquote. So just, giving it a new look, get reinvigorated for Instagram, social media. And then the Monte Carlo, that car has kind of had its time, I think.
Oh my! You think it's had its time?
I don't think I'm not going to put it to pasture. Like, it's not going to.
We need the story about the Monte Carlo.
Okay, all right. So
Because it got stolen.
this
at
might
one
be the
point.
last time I tell the story.
Okay, have you told the story a lot?
I told the story a lot. It's okay.
I wanna
It's
hear
okay.
it.
No, it's okay because
I wanna hear it again.
it's the history of the car, so it's
Right,
okay.
right.
It's just one of those things where it's like, all right.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
here's the story. Yeah.
So, 84 Monte Carlo SS. It's my first hot rod build. I bought the car in 2018, December 2017. All of 2018 was building the car, all the way up until June of 2019 when I took it on Hot Rod Powers. It was the first show I took it to. Just finished working on it and getting it running and everything. Drove it from Atlanta to Charlotte for the first stop. Parked it the first night. Everything's fine. Parked it. They went to the show the next day. Parked it at the hotel. Woke up the next morning and it was gone.
The first show that it went
First
to.
show I took it on. And, everybody was like, oh, why did you have a tracker in there? Why do you have an alarm? We literally were wrenching on the car just to get it running
I mean,
the
I don't
night
know.
before.
Well, I probably shouldn't say it out loud, but is it normal to put a tracker and alarm on every car? Or?
Well, you should take after me and do it.
I should do
Even
it.
if you don't have an alarm, put a tracker in it. Put
Yeah.
an AirTag in it. Put,
That's
go online,
smart.
buy, find a company to sponsor you with a tracker.
Yeah.
And then not promote the company so people don't know which one it is. So they can't, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of got to be the stipulation so people don't know which one it is. But no, yeah, take it from me. You should definitely have trackers in everything you own. But, whatever. I was naive and we were just like, we had to rush. So we got the car on the road. And long story short, mine along with 4 of the cars were stolen that morning.
Oh my
and it took
gosh.
a month later for me to get the letter from the police that they found the car. And of course, when I got the letter, at this point, and after like 2 weeks of not hardly sleeping and constantly racking my brain how they stole it, I finally kind of let it go. It was just like, all right, it's gone, whatever. I had just gotten paid by insurance a week prior to getting the letter, and then I get the letter saying the car was found, and I'm just like, God. After I forgot about the
Like,
car,
after
just
you
like,
accepted
just
it and
after I
moved
accepted it
on.
and they found it, and I'm like, and then I'm thinking, all right, well, it's got to be just completely destroyed, right, or stripped or whatever. Call my buddy because I found out where it was located. Called my buddy Alex and Stibiletti, and I called him. I'm like, hey, the car is here. If you want to go look at it, that'd be cool. So he calls the people, and he calls me back immediately. He's like, bro, they said the car runs. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean it runs? And he's like, dude, you said it's all there. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, how is
why
that
would
possible?
they even take it?
That's what I was trying to figure. So he goes and he looks at it. He's like, dude, it's literally nothing. Like, he said it's there. Like, it's all there. I'm like, that's insane. So I was leaving to go to Detroit for Dream Cruise. And I was like, I left a blank check for my dad because I knew I was waiting for them to email me the buyback price. And I emailed him. I called my dad as soon as I landed. I got the email with the buyback price, and I told him the number, and he sent that check immediately.
Yeah, like, we'll take it.
and then Alex went and picked up the car for me, and then they brought it to LS Fest East in 2019, and that's when I did that burnout. And that's what everybody knows me about. That's what everybody knows. The car getting stolen and that burnout.
Yeah.
And so
the redemption.
Yeah, I almost blew that car up that day. That was great. And so yeah, it was a crazy time, and that's kind of reason why that car is so popular and so famous. And honestly, that's the reason why a lot of people know me too, because of that story. But it was an unfortunate situation, but it obviously is like kind of
it all worked out.
It all worked out in the end.
Yeah. So you feel like you're kind of getting burnt out on that car?
No, it's just one of those things where it's like you want to do something new.
Yeah,
for sure. And I love that car. I'll never get rid of that car. I turned out $85,000 for that car. Many people will call me retarded, if we can say that word still. Sure. Most people will call me crazy for not selling that car for $85,000. And this is before the market kind of went crazy, where you couldn't even, Grand Nationals really even weren't pulling that kind of money. Those are the granddaddies of G bodies. Yeah, and I turned out $85,000, and it still needed to be repainted, which was crazy. And but yeah, when something like that happens, you kind of have that emotional and attachment to it. And it's my first hot rod, and yeah, I don't need to get rid of it. So I was just like, nah. So that's kind of that thing with it. I just want to get the car to the point where I can just drive it, because so many things have happened to it, and I've constantly just been sitting at the shop. So like I've never actually got to just drive
Enjoy
it.
it.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's always been something to keep me from driving it. So I really would just love to just get it somewhere where it could just get 100% dialed in, where I can drive that thing out the shop and just cruise. That's my goal.
Nice.
Because you know how this social media stuff goes. You got to rush to get stuff done, and you skip, you cut corners and such and such, and then you're just like, it's not how I want it to be. Like it's not comfortable. The AC don't work. It's hot.
Something's not finished.
And like I'm real OCD. Like I don't like to ever really admit it, but I am. And like particularly with my cars, because I've been around and I've seen all these super high dollar builds from all the big shops, and I'm friends with all these guys, and I look at these cars, I'm like, as much as I don't have the pockets for it, I'm like I want my cars to be that way. I want to just get in them and drive them. And I know it's possible.
Right.
It just comes down to time and money. So now I'm to the point where like the car's made its rounds. It's done what it needed to do. It's satisfied the sponsors. I want to just get it right. So however long that takes, until I have the money to do it, it can sit in the garage. I don't care.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
So, but it's cool because every time I pop out with it and I make content, everybody still loves it.
They still love
that
it.
car will. I think that car will be famous. It'll have its.
Iconic.
It'll have its. Yeah. It'll be an icon. So I'm thankful for that because not many people have that opportunity. Not many cars have that opportunity. So I'm as much as that opportunity or the whole situation sucked, I'm thankful for it.
Yeah. It really made a name for the car.
Yeah.
That's
100%. 100%.
So do you have any future builds coming up?
Yeah, I have an 89 K5 Blazer. Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you not know about that?
I think you told me about that the last time I saw you.
Yeah, it's going to take a while too because I've kind of just accepted that I don't want anything less than the best.
That's fair.
I kind of want to one up myself from the Monte. Just because you don't want to make lateral moves, right?
Right.
You want to do vertical. So that's kind of my thing. Like I've prided myself on quality things. So, my content's quality. I want my vehicles to follow suit, and I want people to correlate with me with that. So, as much as it's going to take more time and it's probably going to cost more money, I just know at the end of the day it's going to be more rewarding.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah, I kind of want to stand out in that regards. And it's kind of a curse being friends with all these big name builders because you're just like, oh yeah, that Ring Brothers car is $1 million. I want my car to look just like that.
Right.
I don't have $1 million.
I don't have the $1 million, but can we work with this?
Yeah, can we figure something out? So it's a double-edged sword because it's like, yeah, you want your stuff to be quality, but it's like, to what extent or to what end is it going to take? So that's kind of my battle that I'm facing right now.
I feel like that's anytime I go to an event, it's like, well, this got more expensive because I see something that gives me a new idea or something I think I need to have and this and that. So that being your world every day is kind of hard.
It's very hard. But it gets given me the motivation and the push to just do better. Like my parents would try to tell me like, you're not gonna be able to sustain this lifestyle forever. The heck I won't. I'm just gonna hustle harder and make more money. It's like, I'd rather not. I don't want to give up anything.
Yeah.
I'll just do more to be able to keep doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So, yeah, is it realistic? Maybe not, but I'm gonna figure out a way.
Hey, the whole thing wasn't realistic to begin with, right?
Exactly, but we're here.
So
Yeah,
here
we're
we
here.
are. Exactly. So where do you see yourself in
Well-
5 to 10 years, even, or the page, or just like your presence on social media, your career?
Well, I mean, I pray that obviously my presence online is still there in 10 years, right? Because we don't know what
Well, that is
social
true.
could be in 10 years.
It's could be some AI shit in 10
Really,
years.
really,
Gosh,
really.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
10 years talking technology years
It's
is
scary.
a long
That's
time.
a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. So it's very uncertain with that aspect of things. But I hope to move past just the social aspect of things.
Yeah.
Like I hope to become, like we mentioned with me putting my face out there more, like I've learned that I'm really good at being on camera,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm, obviously, like I said, I'm a people person, and I talk really well, and I know my stuff.
Host?
Yeah, that's
That kind of thing.
honestly, that is where I would like to be. I like to see myself there because
Definitely.
another full circle moment with this whole thing was, you ever watch the show Overhauling when you were growing up?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. So I am friends with not Chip Foose. I've met Chip Foose.
Yeah.
I'm friends with Chris Jacobs.
Cool.
And Chris was one of the hosts on the show growing up when I watched that show. And I'm also friends with Courtney Hanson, which is cool too.
I love her.
So it's really a full circle moment to be able to be like, oh yeah, I got their numbers. I can text them, And so actually right before SEMA on Monday of SEMA week, I went out to Red Rock and I actually got to shoot content with Chris Jacobs with Finale Speed. I got to drive this 70 Charger that was in the Wheel Pros booth, the carbon fiber
That's
one.
cool. Yeah.
I got to drive that car.
That is awesome.
And so I was in the car with Chris Jacobs, and I told him, I was like, bro, this is literally like one of the biggest full circle moments of my whole life, being able to sit here with you. I watched you on TV when I was a kid.
That is wild.
Yeah. So it was crazy. So I'm like, yeah, like honestly, getting to that point would be like my ideal goal.
Yeah, definitely. I could see you doing that.
Yeah.
100%.
And so, yeah, I'm putting forth the effort to it. So recently, actually, and I don't know if I told you this, back in May of this year, I was a guest host on Kevin Hart's Muscle Car Show.
What? Caps behind the camera, like, what?
Yeah.
That is so cool. I
Yeah.
never. What channel
Yeah.
is it on?
So it's a Motor Trend show.
Oh, okay.
And then it'll air. I think it'll air on Motor Trend, then it may rerun on like Tubi or Hulu. I don't know yet, but the
That's
season doesn't air. I don't think until early next year. From what I've heard, they haven't given me a date yet, but yeah, they called me up because I'm friends with one of his guys that are in his group, and he texted me and was like, one night I was at a concert one night. He texted me, he was like, "Hey, you're gonna get a call from one of the producers. We're gonna have you as a guest host on the show." I was like, "Are you serious, dude?" I was like, it was so random. Like he didn't really mention this to me at all. It was out of clear left field. I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Sick." I was like, "All right, cool." And so they came to Atlanta, and it was Harry and John. Shout out Harry and John, and they were we filmed for 2 days, and it was great. And Sage
That
was
is
there,
so
Donk
cool.
Master.
Yeah.
He was the co-host on the episode
That's
second
awesome.
day. Yeah, it was great. And so afterwards, they both were just like, "Man, you did a phenomenal job." I was like, "Man, I appreciate that."
Like, remember me. when
Yeah,
you guys
right,
need
exactly.
Another host.
Yeah, exactly. And then like Harry was like, "Man, you need to continue this." I was like, "That'd be great because I want to."
Yeah.
And so I don't know what will come from that. I don't know what other opportunities may come present themselves from that. But that was a really cool opportunity.
That is really cool.
You know what I'm saying? So I was super honored to be able to do something like that. And yeah, so we'll see.
Well, I hope I get to see you on your own show one day.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing.
We're speaking it into existence.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. When the red carpet event happens, you'll be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be snapping your cell phone videos
Hey,
from the sideline.
Let's go. Get yourself a friend like Lacey. Come
Yes,
on now.
I got you. I'll get the behind the scenes.
There you go.
Let me do the story takeover.
Right.
for
No,
you.
yeah, exactly. Lacey taking over American Muscle HD.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
because
is
you're
awesome.
too busy on the red carpet.
Right, exactly.
That is
But no,
awesome.
yeah, it's the whole thing has just been fun. So I'm hoping that another 10 years or 20 years or whatever the
Everything evolving.
hell. Yeah, exactly.
So, do you have anything exciting you can tell us about just coming up into this next year, 2024?
Not yet.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that I haven't been, set in stone yet that I'm, hoping for. But really it's just, trying to get this Blazer going and make more money so I can buy more cars.
Hell yeah, that's all of our goals,
that's really
right?
it. I just want more cars, man. It's because like that's the thing that people relate to you with is these automobiles, and so like I've got a laundry list of cars.
What's
own.
on your list?
I mean, it is stuff that's not super expensive either. Like I don't have like unrealistic goals. Like I want a C5 Z06. I want to build one of those. It's kind of like a road race, kind of track car. I want a 96 Impala SS.
Sick.
I think
Everybody does.
Everybody does. I was gonna say, dope boy, but I'm not a dope boy. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. There's some appeal to 96 Impala. So I want one of those. I want a big body S class, like a 97 S500. I've been dying to have one of those, man. Like a 2005, 2006 CL55.
I don't know what that
big
is.
2-door coupe Mercedes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the B pillarless ones, like the huge. I have to show you a picture.
Yeah,
they're fire. Supercharged V8.
Oh,
500 something horsepower. Like they're money. And then again, all these cars are like you can get for, $20,000 to $25,000.
Yeah.
They're not super expensive. And then there's like, I want another truck.
right.
And
We're talking about the second gen you used to have on the
second
way
gen, I had
here.
a second gen. I kind of want a third gen or a fourth gen truck. Yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff. So I just need to make more money.
I feel the same way. It's always like you said, the laundry list in the back of your mind of like, okay, this is next. Like,
How many vehicles you guys saved on Facebook Marketplace?
I have so many screenshots in my phone. It's not even funny. I just can't look at Facebook Marketplace, if that makes sense, because I'm the type that I'm like, that's the deal of a lifetime. I guess I'll sell a kidney.
You'll just conjure up the money somehow.
I'm like, we'll make it happen, and like I just can't do that all the time.
Yeah, and then you're looking at your debt
happen.
like,
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I can't. Like, oh, it's only X amount, and then here we are.
Yeah, that's tough, and that's probably a good reason why I don't have just like liquid cash, because I would just be, boom, boom. I'll just be throwing it out.
Yeah.
But one of my, and I won't take too much longer, but one of my goals with this whole thing is my older brother. He's the reason I'm doing any of the stuff that I'm doing. Like,
really,
he's been my inspiration to do all the stuff like that I'm into, all the hobbies that I have, because I was just on his coattail. I was a younger brother. He's 8.5 years older than me. So, cars, guns, shoes.
he was always into all
He was
that.
always, that was all things he was into. And so then I became into him, and I just took him to the 10th degree.
That's so cool.
And so, my brother, he's a hardworking dude. He's got a family and all this kind of stuff. Well, he's the responsible husband. He's a responsible father. So he does all the things for his family. So he doesn't really get to do too much for him. You know what I'm saying? And so like, it's kind of one of my goals to just like be successful enough that him and I can enjoy this stuff together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, have play money to where we can go buy some, some cars to just fool around in for a year, turn around, flip them, buy something else. Like that's one of my goals. Like, and I'm not a selfish person. Like, obviously I want my stuff, but like for me and my brother to be able to enjoy this stuff together, that's my ultimate goal.
That's super. He's got to be proud
I'm gonna try not
of you.
to tear up about this. I don't know why.
I know, my God. I will. I'll cry with you. I'm a crier. Don't get me started.
But no,
He's got to be proud of you.
No,
like,
he is, and it's like that's the stuff that might be something to get me teared up about. But like when he actually told me he was proud of me, I was like, what?
That's so cool.
Because again, I mean, we're not. He wasn't like he wasn't
it's
like
the big
not
brother,
empathetic,
little
but
brother
exactly.
relationship.
Yeah, I was just like, man, like, what do you mean? Like, I was always just trying to not impress you, but like, you're my big brother.
So cool.
You know what I'm saying? So like, don't you do it. Don't you freaking do it. I'm over here tearing up too. But no, yeah, he's like
Your cat's like behind the camera, hold it together. That's like precious though.
Yeah. So anyways, let's talk about guns again.
Oh yeah. Pew pew pew.
Pew, blowing stuff up. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. But yeah, so that's honestly at the end of the day, that's one of my goals. Like he's been sending me ads for houses on like land in Georgia, because that's the goal, right?
Right, that's my goal too.
Buying
Because you want
land,
to like have land to tear shit up on.
You want to tear shit up, shoot shit,
guns, yes.
build you a shop and a house, right? And so, and speaking of which, he sent me something, but yeah,
his ears are ringing.
Yeah, exactly. So he sent me a house. He sent me a couple houses, and like they both were on like 20+ acres,
sick,
for like $400,000.
Go get them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, I'll figure something out.
Maybe, that's the shitty thing. It's like, okay, maybe cars on hold for a second.
Right.
And
okay, so let me ask you a question real quick. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
I've seen these these like quotes where it's like, if you like, there's this one quote where it's like, if you can't step back and like, I don't know the proper verbiage, but it was like, if you can't step back and like regroup for a year, you worry too much about what other people think, or something along those lines. Like, have you ever, like, I don't know what your financial situation is,
I've done that.
but like, have you ever thought like, you know, you're constantly trying to chase the, you know, having things to constantly be relevant and create content that it's like maybe putting you in a financial bind that you don't need to be in, to where
100%.
like, all right, should
like,
I
take a step back?
Yeah, do I sacrifice a little momentum on social and hope that people will still rock with me, knowing that I just need to get myself right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I need to get my money right. I need to get me right, whatever. Have you ever had those moments?
Yeah, so I have done that.
Really?
This was right before I first bought my shop building, probably like my first shop in Missouri, probably 7 or 8 years ago or something. So I had my silver Cummins. I don't know if you ever remember that. That was like,
maybe.
That was my first truck that I started taking to shows. So I had that, and then I had a single cab dually 7.3 OBS 1994. 2 of my dream trucks. Those were my babies. And this opportunity came about to buy this property that would soon be my shop, and super good deal on it. And I was like, to, you know, make the down payment and everything, I'm going to have to just sell these things and like take a step back for a minute. So I sold them, and I'm telling you, that's the hardest I think I've cried in like a long time, was just like selling them, knowing that I was probably doing the right thing, but like that was in the middle of like me kind of growing with social media, and I'm like, you know, this is how I do that, but in order to move forward, I have to take a couple steps back, I think. And I'm like, this could end it all, you know, or it could be better down the road. So I drove a $3,000 Chrysler 300 for like a year and a half, and no one remembers that time. No one remembers it, and they're not gonna.
That's crazy.
And that put me in a position to be able to buy the shop, and then it's, you know, all escalated from there. But I'm kind of to a point, even like me and Cap were talking about this at SEMA, I didn't want to build my truck for SEMA. Like, I was like, I just, you know, I feel like, well, and you get to, like you said, you feel like you're chasing something, like you're passionate about it, you want all these things.
Yeah.
But at some point, it almost feels like, I don't know, like it feels a little materialistic sometimes. And I'm like, I feel like I'm chasing like an invisible standard kind of thing, even though I do want these things, but it gets a little exhausting. And I'm like, I kind of would like to just take a step back and not build anything, but then it's the companies that we work with that I wanted to support and this and that. But I totally understand, because I'm kind of at that point right now that I feel like I need to thin out the collection a little bit and like focus more. It is in the back of your mind of like, well, this is what my following's from, so are they still gonna ride with me? Like, are they? And I don't even think I ever made it public of like, hey, this is what my plans are, this is why I'm selling all this stuff. But it's like, legitimately, it sounds so corny, but sometimes you have to take 5 steps back to take 10 steps forward, you know? The
humility in being able to admit, like, so I know this sounds so first worldly, right? Because many people would just give anything to have a working automobile, right? So it's kind of crazy to think. So it's like, you got to think about that sometimes, but like, oh God, like the idea of being able to like just drive a regular car, like a cheap regular car, like, yeah, I should just go buy like a $2,000-$3,000 Civic or something, but I just like, that's not me. Like, I can't.
If you ever try it though, it's kind of a vibe. Not gonna lie, it's kind of a vibe. Like, we had like a little work truck, like just a little Chevy Silverado, couple $1,000 truck, beat all to hell. And I'm like, it, like, people, like when I would pull up, people would look at me like I was sketchy, like I was gonna steal shit. But it was just, I don't know, it's kind of a vibe. You should try it.
I don't know.
You just
I might
feel
have to.
simple. And sometimes that feels good.
It does. You know, I think I gotta just get out of my own head, because it's like, you know, I've always owned nice stuff, and I feel like it's just kind of been, like I said, it's just kind of been my status quo. So the idea of just owning like a shit box just doesn't sit well with me. I'm just like, nah, I can't do that.
And it's one of those things, it maybe to people listening, maybe that sounds materialistic, but it's not when you're in the automotive industry.
Yeah, please guys don't think that I'm just like some pompous, you know what I'm saying?
Because I think if you were like, let's say, I don't know, if you were some kind of office job, if you worked on like Wall Street and you're like, I don't want to drive a shitbox, people would be like, well, that's because you're materialistic. But because you're in the automotive industry, it's what you're passionate about. It's not like we're buying materialistic stuff to play keeping up with the, there's
Joneses.
a little bit of that, but
Yeah.
it's like it genuinely is what you're passionate
Yeah,
about.
like I'm building these cars for me, and if
Right.
people like them on social, that's wonderful.
Right.
Because I don't build anything for anybody else. I don't give a damn. I can build my car, and if you don't like it, if nobody likes it one time, I'll be like, oh well, fuck them.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I like it. As long as the companies enjoy the content, then I don't care. I don't care. So like I'm definitely not doing it to chase nobody. I mean, like you said, it ends up being a little bit of that just because maybe
It's just kind of the
friendly
name of the
competition
game.
or something like that.
Right.
But
or just trying to be relevant for your job.
yeah, and so it's always this fine line that you got to play on social media, and I try to just again the thing that I think keeps me and like you and a lot of other people is just like if you show how genuine you are in all of this, people can look, they can see where your heart is. They can
For
see
sure.
like what your intentions are because you personally know, I personally know the people that do it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you can see clear as day and you're like, man, I'll rock with that person.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Me particularly, because it's like I'm like, what the fuck? I don't need to. I don't need to know. I don't need to be cool with these people.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like whatever.
Not my
like,
cup of tea.
Yeah.
Or
Like
just-
everybody's got different strokes for different folks, but like I do me. I know the type of person I am, and I know it resonates with people. So that's how I'm gonna continue being.
Right.
So
let me ask you this: when you go places, is anyone ever like when you go somewhere, people recognize you and they want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. You can go somewhere without a vehicle, and that happens, right?
Well,
that
yeah, I'm here without my vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my first realization, like going to a truck show without a vehicle. I think I had kind of sold in the middle of like a build or something and didn't bring anything. And I'm like, oh, people, they want to talk to me. It's not necessarily about the build, even though it is, but
they
it's
may
like,
mention it. They'd be like, "Yeah, why don't you got your car out?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "I just."
but
didn't."
it's like, it doesn't really, they didn't come just to see the car or the truck or that.
Right.
They came to see you.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's been times where I've been at LS Fest or whatever and I didn't bring the car or SEMA. People will, they'll pull up and they'll be just like, hey, what's going on? Da, da, da. And then they'll ask me about the car. They'll be like, yo, like at SEMA this year, they're like, yo, it's a car at SEMA? I'm like, man, I don't know if that car will ever make it here.
Right.
Because I'm such a perfectionist and like I want the car to be like perfect if it's going to be inside and da da da. But like, yeah, it's the vehicle is obviously a catalyst to the conversation, but yeah, people more likely, more than often now are coming up and just chopping it up with me, just saying what's
Yeah.
up, because
That's what it's really all about.
yeah, because a lot of people follow me on my personal, so they'll see all the shit I'm into, and they're like, yeah, like that's happened a lot, like. People that I've known for a while, but they'd be like, "Yeah, man, seen you out there playing with the Bronco Raptors and shit." And recently in
and
Detroit,
you do so much stuff with like other vehicles that aren't your own.
Yeah.
That you could probably not even mention your own vehicles for a year, and at the end of the year, no one would. They might ask, but the next year, everyone would forget that even happened.
right? Exactly. No, that's the cool thing. So
you have enough content.
I had from December of 2020 to May of 2021, I had a different press car every week for those 6 months. I didn't drive my Escalade for 6 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember seeing your stuff when all that was happening. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, come pick me up.
No, you don't understand how many times I get people to tell me that. People like local, and I'm like, bruh.
Like, I
If
kind of
y'all-
can't.
I mean, no, I can.
Yeah.
It's just like, bruh, like traffic
Take
is
your
a
shoes off.
yeah, traffic is a pain in the butt. Like getting around Atlanta, like you take half a day just getting around Atlanta. I was like, y'all gotta throw me some gas money too, right? Because all this money's coming out of my pocket. But no, it's fun. Like that is one of the coolest things too, because like I'll pull up to a gas station and I'll be like in a, like I don't know what I had. I had a Nissan GTR right recently, like a month ago, and I pulled up somewhere and I was getting gas and this guy was like, you mind if my son takes a look at the car or whatever? And I'm like, please, like
That's
sit in it.
super cool.
Yeah, I was like, this is what I have it for. I was
That's
like,
what the
sit in it.
companies want,
Yeah,
it's for
or even
people
if
to
they
see
don't
them.
want it, that's what I want to do. I was
Right. Mm-hmm.
like, even though it's not my car, I'm gonna act like it's mine. So I'm like, yeah, please, like that's the whole point. Like I'll take y'all for a ride if y'all want.
Right.
And it's honestly one of the coolest experiences because like obviously, yeah, I don't own the cars, but you get the same sense, you get the same feel. And you make a kid's day
That's
or whatever.
so cool.
I actually got to take my nieces for rides in the GTR.
That's cool.
And I was surprised because my brother and sister-in-law have always kind of just been a little like hesitant about that. But like I finally asked them and they put the car seat in the back and the booster seat for the baby and my oldest niece. And I took my brother and then my sister-in-law, we did launches.
That is awesome.
was so much
Do you get
fun.
to film any of that, or
It was nighttime, so
Yeah.
I didn't have the proper cameras for it, but I just wanted to do it for them.
Yeah.
They were geeked out. So now going forward, I'll be able to do it with more cars, knowing
That's
that
super cool.
they'll allow me to. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. All this stuff is just a blast. Like I literally enjoy doing this shit every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not work when you enjoy it.
Not really.
Right?
Not
Yeah.
really. I mean, there's days obviously that are harder than others
Right.
or more annoying than others. But at the end of the day, I look back and I'm just like, man, I dreamed for this.
Yeah.
You know? So I think of those hard days. I'm just like, man, I can't complain. There's people that literally hate waking up every day to go to work.
Right.
And
I think of
get
that
paid,
all the
I
time.
get paid to play with cars.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, that is crazy to me. Like, I played with the cars when I was a child, and now I'm playing with real ones, and I'm getting paid.
So cool.
Coolest thing ever. So,
Living the dream.
follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams,
Really,
kids.
like, that's the most cliche thing you'll ever hear in your life, but it's so true. Like, don't give up on that shit. As much as you can help it.
I love that.
It eventually, it will pay off.
1000%.
When you don't think it will, it will. And you just got to be patient. That's all it is. Patience and persistence. Because you can't expect it. Everything's not just going to come to you. You have to put in the work.
And you're going to hear a lot of no's.
You're going to hear a lot of no's. You're going to fail before you succeed a million times. Like, these are all things very much cliches, but
That are
it's
true.
Yeah. Why the hell am I tearing up?
I'm not going to lie. I like when you started saying that, I almost started tearing up. I'm
This
like,
is
I'm not going to do it.
Damn it.
Maybe it's my vibe. Is it my vibe? Because I'm
Maybe.
like, maybe am I tearing up? Could you see it?
No, I mean, your
'Cause
eyes
I'm
are
like,
your eyes are a little glassy, but that might just be
I get
like
emotional about that
it is.
shit.
It is because you don't realize
Someone's
like
gonna hear that though, and it's gonna
Yeah.
like maybe it's not, maybe it sounds dumb, but that will resonate with somebody. Like that's gonna touch somebody.
Yeah.
Like that could be the one person that's listening to that needed to hear that.
100%.
That could be the catalyst of something big for them.
100%.
You know? I love that. And I just love I love my friends just succeeding and chasing their dreams. I love a good success story.
Facts. No, it's true. It's true. And it's like, you know, a lot of my friends, like, you know, that are either starting it or I meet people that are trying to start. And I'm like, you know, you try to give them those words of encouragement, but you know how hard it is.
Yeah.
You know how long it takes. And you're like, if only you knew like what could be at the end of this hard ass road.
Like when you tell people 10 years, like you've been doing it 10 years,
That is
you know?
a long time.
Yeah, like I meet, a lot of 22, 23-year-olds, and I'm 29 now, and I'm like, I've been doing this almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And, I'm like, you've been doing it 3, 4, stick with it.
Yeah, they can't imagine putting like that much effort into something without like a true payoff. It's now, and like my situation personally, and I'm not gonna get real personal, but like I still live with my parents. I don't really care to say that. I don't care. I don't mind.
In this economy, that's way
that
normal
happens
now.
a lot more.
Yeah.
But like,
and the smart decision to be
Yeah.
able to chase your dreams.
yeah, for sure. I've got, and shout out to my parents because not many parents would still hold that kind of, not to say they pay for any of my stuff really, but like that financial burden. Because most parents after you're
Like, get
18,
out.
you got to go do your own thing, because that's what happened with them, with their parents. So it's like, if you have that relationship with your parents and they're willing to let you do that, don't take it for granted. Like, do that shit. Use that as an advantage and put forth all your effort into it, because you could still make it if you had to be on your own, but then like if you don't have financial backing, you're gonna have to have a job. Yeah. And then like all the extra time that you really don't have, that's the time you got to put into the side hustle thing. So you got significantly less time to put forth towards it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have a, however 18-hour day that you could just dedicate to making content or doing whatever. You only have whatever, I don't know, 5 hours.
That's
unless
what
you
I
want to
told
stay up
people,
all night.
Right. That's why I told people when I started, I was doing like 12 to 18 hours of hair a day.
Yeah.
That's like my hands in someone's head.
Yeah.
So it's like besides making appointments on the phone or cleaning the salon, doing taxes and all that shit. But it's like, I tell people anything's possible. Yeah. Because I had that limited time. You just work with what you have. But if someone has the opportunity to have more time and not have to do that, absolutely.
Take that shit and run with it. Like, because again, that's a rare opportunity. So I'm in a unique position. I'm a unique boat, with that, in that regard. So I'm thankful for it every day. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And you got to really be dedicated to it, because it's not for the faint of heart.
No. And it's never consistent income.
Yeah.
Or
Another thing too was if it was
that.
easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
Or everybody would do it.
That is another cliche thing, but literally the truth.
So look up all the cliches about business online, and we're going to tell you those, but they're all true.
Yeah, they're all true. We've got a story behind all of them.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you coming out.
It's been fun.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, always. And hopefully next year, we can actually do some content together.
Yes, we need to.
Because we've been friends for too long and we have not done anything.
Shoot me some ideas. We can do some tomorrow if you want.
What are we gonna do?
I have no idea.
Kodiak, brother.
Kodiak, let me tell you about this Kodiak,
let's
brother.
do burnouts in the Kodiak. No, I don't know. We'll have to sit down and hash something out.
Okay, so
Ooh.
everything's a secret and in the works. Dropping hints, but we're doing more burnout things next year. So maybe we can do some ride-alongs.
I like burnouts.
Do some ride-along content with me.
Or you drive my car, I drive your car.
I'm in for that. I mean, you can't blow it up any worse than I blow mine up.
You could possibly blow mine up.
Cap's like, oh wait, yeah.
Just like after this,
Okay.
You just got ideas? Okay. I don't know if I should drive your car because this right foot that I have, it for some reason does bad things. It makes things go boom. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if you remember that burnout I did in 2019, but I damn near blew mine up and it's still running.
Hey.
Still in the same
I'll
head
finish it off.
She's like, finish him.
Is that a bet?
Yeah. Mortal Kombat over here is like, I don't know. Actually, no, never mind. I take it back. I take it back. Let me drive yours. You can't drive mine.
But yeah,
no.
something like that.
We'll figure something out. It'll be
sure.
cool. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
All right.
We got a
stay
good year
tuned,
coming up.
everybody.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
All right.